What's up, everybody? It's that time again. It is another new moon vibe session. So let's just get ourselves ready. I'm here with some sage. Yep, we got some sage going. So, what's lit about this new moon cycle is it is a black moon. Well, is the actual okay? So a black moon, 2 new moons in the same sign in a month. So is the second new moon is what's considered the black moon? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't know. But yes, we just made it through the first of 2 new moons in Virgo. Okay, so August 23rd, the new moon in Virgo, 0 degrees. So the purest Virgo energy that we can deal with. Pure Virgo. Virgo. I hope that's not too loud. Un momento. Okay, sorry. The kids next door, they're always running the gosh dang whatever you do to trim the edges of your yard. Whatever. We also got us some selenite. We're gonna get a little bit of that going. But yes, pure Virgo energy. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is thankfully out of retrograde. And I think we're in the last few days of the shadow period. So, Mercury's doing its thing. So, pure Virgo energy for the new moon. Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Mercury in astrology represents the way we communicate, the way that we process our thoughts. Also rules, commerce and, marketing, sales, and stuff like that. So, what sign is Mercury in? Probably Leo. But don't quote me on that. 24 hours after the new moon when I'm recording this, so Virgo. It's all about the details. Virgo is an earth sign. It's a mutable earth sign, and it's looking like it's not the time for this. We may be in the clear, guys. Okay, so probably gonna try to make this a little bit quick. That's 2 interruptions. Both dealing with children. I feel like that's significant, but I'll come back to it. Virgo. Not gonna lie, I forgot what I said. All about the details. Mutable earth sign. So, it's the sign of processing the physical world. And within the body, Virgo is associated with the intestines and the process of digestion, because it is a process and it starts in your mouth when you start chewing. In case you didn't know. My Saturn retrograde videos. I posted it on my post board on YouTube, but I haven't made like a separate video. Saturn retrograde, Virgo energy came up in both air signs and water signs Saturn retrograde reading. So if you are a water sign or an air sign, you should go check that out. Okay, what else? Pure Virgo energy, the process of digestion starts in the mouth. Mouth is where we communicate language, words. Separating, there we go, that's what I was trying to get to. 616, separating the nutrients from the junk. Or, just what is not nutrition, doesn't have nutritional value. Because fiber technically doesn't have a nutritional value, but it is still beneficial to the digestion process. So, again, I feel like all these things that I'm mentioning are significant. So, kids and digestion and fiber. Kids, digestion, fiber. And again, fiber optics. I don't know what that means for anybody, guys. So this new moon cycle about separating what's nutritional, has nutritional value, what is a supplement to the nutrition, and what just needs to be eliminated and removed. Okay. And we have two cycles of this, so that's significant. So I guess I just want to go and say, make sure you're looking out for your kids. Pay attention to how they're communicating and how they're processing things. And pay attention to their digestion. That's just simple, practical stuff. We should be doing that all the time. But now is definitely a good time to get that belly, gut, intestine situation going, because the gut is known as the second brain. And reality, it's a way to think about it. They call it the second brain because there are so many nerve endings within the intestines and within that region. So if we technically have two brains, how many brains do octopi have? I don't have my computer with me, so I can't just look over and look real quick. But again, so anyways, that's just a side note. If you want to look it up and put it in the comments, that'll be lit. But if we have two brains and they're connected to each other, if one is out of whack, the other one's going to be out of whack. So again, Virgo energy is known to be connected to the nervous system also, probably through the intestines. Pure Virgo energy. So it's that space that is, it doesn't have the influence of another sign or another planet. Mutable earth. 23rd was on a Saturday. Saturn. I like to note the day when transits or moon phases start or stop, because that's an influence. So Saturn, like I mentioned, air signs and water signs. Virgo energy came out in their Saturn retrograde reading. Saturn retrograde reading for water signs. I know the title was Fueling Up for Rebirth, and then air signs. Ancient gifts here to fortify the timeline. So water signs, or just water, that energy of water in our lives, in our collective lives, is pushing us towards a rebirth. You know, the waters are being purified at 11:11 and cleansed. The waters are being purified and cleansed, so it'll be a fresh rebirth. And then the air energy in our collective lives, it is pushing forward. The more that our waters are cleansed, the more that our mentality can be cleansed. So when we get rid of unneeded thought processes or anything that is not needed for the betterment of our mental, it is being released right now. Like on the deepest level possible. Like on a cellular level, things are being shifted. And it's allowing space for ancient, cosmic, galactic information to be able to finally flow through the DNA. So, Saturn, the lessons that are being learned, the lessons that water is teaching us right now, and the lessons that air is teaching us right now, all has to do with this very intricate process of separating nutritional and supplemental and no longer needed. Nutritional, supplement, not necessary. Okay. We have 2 cycles to do that. Of course, I'll be back on here for the Black Moon, the second new moon in Virgo. But I don't know what degree that one will be at. So this is just pure off the dome, so you can trust and believe if and when, because I know it will, when I do the next new moon in Virgo reading, I know they'll flow together. But for now, we just have the pure raw energy. Fueling up for rebirth and ancient gifts. I think that's what I put. Ancient gifts here to fortify the timeline. So yes, a lot of people are waking up. So whatever seeds that are being planted, or seeds that have already been planted, now is a time of preparing for the harvest, purifying the space before the harvest comes, making space for the harvest. And the harvest is collectively the upliftment of humanity. So, alright, let's just get into it. What is the theme? What is our collective theme? Collective Perlinwood theme. Cards are jumping out. What is the theme for the first new moon in Virgo 2025 for the Perlinwood Collective? What's the theme? We have where there is hope. Don't believe that past defeats or disappointments will keep you from succeeding. True success grows from the lessons. A hopeful heart never gives up. It's all about keeping your wits about you while things are in movement and are being processed. Now is not a time to be stuck to anything because you will be taken out with it if it's meant to go. So, surrendering. I feel like surrender and hope and faith and all those things, they all go together. You can't have one without the other. First new moon. The theme about this first new moon in Virgo. 2 cards came out, we'll take them. 9. Sagittarius, expand. So number 9, and then we have square, semi-square, quincunx. I've never been known or taken the time to learn how to pronounce that. And the keyword is tension, number 54. Okay, which is also a 9. And we're in a 9 year. And 9 is connected to the Hermit card, which is relate, connected to Virgo. So yes, it's all lining up. Can't make it up, guys. It's happening now. It's really, really happening now. The theme. Community. This has been a big thing too. And this is connected to the earth element, Virgo. Connect with others, support, give and receive angels. So there's going to be some tension simply because things are expanding. To know about the theme of the first new moon in Virgo. Dragon's blood, anima mundi. And that's number 51. 5 and 1 is a 6. Dragon energy. Definitely potent right now. If you don't know how to connect with the dragons, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a very... I'm working on it, but I don't have like a specific process, but all I know is if you have a pure heart, the dragons definitely help you out. What are even signs that they're around? All I know is dragon energy is very, especially when it comes to the use of language, they are very, I'm not going to say long-winded, but maybe a bit archaic in the way that they share information. So if you are a, as they call it, claircognizant, I'm not going to lie, y'all, I'm going to come up with my own words, but just so we know what we're talking about, claircognizant, where, you know, information just comes to you, or maybe you can understand things in a different voice. You know, dragons speak very archaically. I know that for sure. And I'd just be like, wow, okay then, thank you. But very loving, very much so here for humanity and the upliftment. And it's very sweet. Not gonna lie, the other day, dragon energy, literally blowing fire straight right here in my third eye for like 3 days straight. Definitely 2, but I would say it went on for about 3 days. So when I tell you they're here to help, they're here to help. So the theme is, even though there have been times where humans have tried to come together and uplift each other, and it didn't produce the results. Um, we don't have to let that soul or cellular or current memory, or recent memory hold us back from doing it though. Like we gonna keep trying, and we gonna keep trying, and we gonna keep trying until all souls are brought back home. Okay, and that's on the Emerald Order. Okay, but the sun's going down, so my lighting, my little golden hour, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I did. But yeah, we're gonna turn the light on here in a second. I'm gonna do that now, actually. Okay, that might be another sign too. If it's starting to get dark, turn the light on. How do we turn the light on? By being our most authentic selves. The light flows through us. Okay. And it emits itself outwards. I promise you it does. What is that? I just don't know the names of things. But what is that field of study called? Is it like quantum mechanics or something? When it's just like you study the way that life works on a subtle level. Anyways, if it gets dark, turn the light on. So just be yourself. Alright, how is the energy of this first new moon in Virgo affecting us as a collective? Okay, didn't we get this in the last one? Solar flares, keyword. Activate to 17, which reduces to an 8. So, again, things are being activated within us and around us. Let's get a little bit more information. I'm going to read that. We're going to pull all of the cards first and then read them. Alright, so how is the energy of this first new moon in Virgo of 2025 going to be working in our advantage, in our favor? Is the energies of this new moon working in our favor? Ninth house, exploration. So the energy of this moon is giving us a boost when it comes to being able to explore. We got Sagittarius energy as part of the theme. Sagittarius is connected to the ninth house. So, alright, how is this energy going to challenge us? Trip us up, maybe? Mercury messages. Number 20 reduces down to a 2. So messages between the light and the dark. I say that because of the snakes. And the caduceus. Year of the snake, guys. Year of the snake. The snake only sheds its skin to be a bigger snake. Alright, and how can we best utilize these energies of the first new moon in Virgo 2025? And how can we best utilize these energies? We got Aries act. So fire. We have Sagittarius and Aries. Is it Mercury in Leo? As of today, I believe it is. But I don't know, don't quote me. At least not on that, not today. How can we best utilize these energies? Rhodiola, wisdom. Look at the unicorn. So we have dragon energy, unicorn energy, snake energy, Virgo energy, Sagittarius energy. And this dragon's blood, I always forget which which one that is. It's not Chiron. I think it's Ceres, maybe? But we don't find out. I'm going to read it. Rhodiola. It's a 37, which reduces to a 10, which reduces to a 1. It's associated with Uranus and Mercury. Okay, Uranus. What are the outer planets? Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I think Uranus, pretty positive. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Alright, so the only fire sign not represented is Leo, but we just left Leo season. Alright, so let's read Dragon's Blood. That's part of the theme. And let's see what asteroid this is. Lilith. Wow. It's associated with oneness, merging with the divine, access to the world soul, occult knowledge, initiation, universal donor, entry into the great void. Boom. That 0 degree mark of Virgo. Reverse, lost in the unknown, dark magic, overwhelm, inner conflict, blocked spiritual sight. Okay. And I feel like it goes with this. That's where this tension, because we are expanding into the world soul. Accessing the Axis Mundi. Was that my new moon video or was it a full moon? Either way, one of my videos. Accessing the Axis Mundi. This is the Anima Mundi. Okay. Dragons are ancient guardians of the earth, symbolizing hidden knowledge and auspicious powers of supernatural origin. Dragons are etheric beings that inhabit the deepest pockets of the ethers and have dominion over the 4 elements. Dragon's blood core oozes blood, representing the collective blood, the blood of nature, and serving as a gateway to the Anima Mundi, the world's soul. As you enter the all-seeing portal of the great void, don't shy away from its vastness. Embrace it as you are undergoing this great initiation. Within this awakening, you will discover the unique pattern you contribute to the great tapestry of life. Bow. Powerful. And we're going to read it. Sagittarius. Sagittarius asks us to think big, travel far, and use our restlessness and curiosity to create. A mutable fire sign, Sagittarius' symbol is that of the centaur, half human, half horse, which epitomizes the connection between humans and the natural wild world. Sagittarius, ruled by expansive Jupiter, rules the thighs, the muscles that propel our movement. The sun shines in Sagittarius November 22nd through December 21st. 1 second. Okay, y'all. I had to do a nice little location change real quick, but that ain't gonna stop nobody's party. Okay, I was reading Sagittarius. This is the Star Codes Astro Oracle Guidebook. Action. Sagittarius has 2 imperatives. Expand your perspective and humbly speak your truth. So let your perspective become versatile, flexible, and curious. Travel in the body or in the mind and explore a larger philosophical, environmental, or metaphysical context for the situation. Imagine you are on a mountaintop. Look down at your life from 1,000 feet up. Now take it further, like the astronauts who look down on our spinning green and blue globe and see no borders between countries. You are a global citizen. Change your life to reflect this reality. Speak your truth. Remember the fairy tale, The Emperor's New Clothes? A pair of con artists arrive at the emperor's court claiming to make beautiful garments. They say their creations are only visible to people of quality. Incompetent people can't see the clothes. No one in the emperor's court wants to admit they can't see the supposedly intricate garments. And the emperor wears his new clothes on parade. Only one honest Sagittarian-style boy speaks up without rancor or states the obvious. The Emperor is naked and breaks the spell. Ask what spell you need to break and speak up. Y'all. And this is the theme. Part of the theme is us speaking up. Whew. I like that one. Y'all might need a little moment and sit down after hearing that. Hopefully you've already sat down. Ask what spell you need to break and speak up. Challenge. Just because you see it doesn't mean you have to say it. Timing and pacing are everything. Be honest, not mean. Ask if what you are about to say is wise, kind, and necessary, as well as true. What is it? What's the saying? I'll probably post it in the description or on the community board. Is it kind? No, is it? I can't think of it right now. Gift. Wait, hold on. I wasn't finished. I didn't know. Watch out for the geographic cure, the belief that travel will solve problems, because wherever you go, there you are. That's a good one too. Gift. Honor all your relationships. Sagittarius reminds us that our spiritual path is connected to all of our relations. The two-footed, four-footed, many-legged, winged, scaled, and finned, and they are connected to us. Period. So, expand the mind. The theme of this first new moon in Virgo is the expansion of the mental space. Okay. Why is it expanding? So we can be open to more light, more information. And not that there's a fly. Shoe fly. Don't bother me. That's what you tell anybody trying to get in the way. What you gotta say. As long as it's wise, necessary, true, on point. Then we got square, semi-square, quintuplets. These three aspects are awkward, potentially confrontational, and urge us to grow as we reconcile disparate points of view. Square aspects act as if two horses are pulling at right angles, or two cars are colliding at a crossroads. Needs collide, and tension pulls between different priorities within or without. A square is formed by two planets that are 90 degrees apart and in the same modality, cardinal, fixed, or mutable, while a semi-square is formed by two planets 45 degrees apart. A quincunx is formed by two planets 150 degrees apart from two signs that have neither polarity, modality, nor element in common. Sheesh. Action. Life is a workout. This phase needs juggling, muscle building, and the careful coordination of competing needs. You may feel pulled between one path or another and pushed to make a decision, but with some fancy timing and rhythm, you may be able to do it all. Working with people who have diverse something sets, mindsets, skills, and backgrounds can be challenging, but in the long run, these collaborations prove most productive and enriching. Find points of ease, the few things everybody agrees on already, and build out from there. Honor difference and expand. There's that word, expanding. That was at 3353. 3s and 5s. So there's naturally going to be tension while this expansion happens. Why? Because not everybody has the same mental perspective. So with that being noted, as new information and more light comes onto the earth, and those of us in the collective choose to speak more on it and choose to share what we know in the ways that we know how, for lack of a better word, it's going to blow people's minds. Like, their mind is going to be blown, and we cannot predict how people are going to act once their mind is blown and once a spell is broken, because you can free people, but when people aren't used to being free, they're not necessarily going to know what to do. So some are probably going to continue the same loops. Some are, unfortunately, probably going to be overwhelmed and not know what to do, so they're going to be stuck in, fight or flight, and they're going to be stuck in flight. And then there's going to be the ones that are going to fight. Okay. We already know that, though. We're well aware with the fighters. But we got to be more aware of the flighters and the freezers. Because some people might just be stuck, and some people are just going to run away like you never even said anything. So, whatever. Anyways, let the situation become a mandala created by the interlacing elements that at first glance may not look like they go together. These apparently clashing pieces can round each other out and create a beautiful symbol of wholeness. Take this image into your psyche and use it as a pattern for interaction. These tense aspects take work, but don't avoid it. If you take a hatching baby bird out of its egg so it doesn't have to struggle, it won't build the strength needed to survive. A butterfly needs to struggle coming out of the cocoon in order to have circulation in its wings to fly. This situation builds your strength. Get ready to fly. Challenge. This is a workout of body, mind, or spirit, and workouts can be tiring. Gift. Take this opportunity to build strength and learn to reconcile the conflicts within. When you can resolve internal conflicts, it is easier to resolve external ones. Period. But yes, Lilith, the lower aspect side of Lilith. It mentioned stuff about overwhelm and what else did it mention, guys? Lost in the unknown, dark magic, overwhelm, inner conflict, blocked spiritual sight. Don't shy away from the vastness that you may feel, because more light is coming onto the earth. So more information, new everything is going to be happening, guys. Like, so much energy is being released. Like all these storms and all these, natural disasters, geographical disasters and stuff, they hold a purpose. They're releasing pent up energy in the earth. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, there's probably going to be something of that variety. And considering there's Sagittarius with the tension and there's just fire, I just feel like it's going to have to do something with fire. Or the aftermath of the fires that have already been going on. So we have 9, 2 9s, an 8, and a 6. Then we have an 8, an 11, which breaks down to a 2, and then another 2, and then we have a 1, and then we have another 1. Okay. 38 minutes. I just got to finish reading and connecting these. And again, like I said, fires. So there's going to be solar flares. Solar flares are definitely a big time of light being put onto the earth, which cycles through us too. Like, we're all connected. I wish I could draw a picture, but we're all connected. All of the nervous systems of every living being on this planet is connected. And we just read that. I just read that somewhere, didn't I? The sun's surface is always roiling. A flare can flash brightly on the surface or become a coronal mass ejection many times the size of the Earth that shoots out charged particles. When these particles head toward Earth, not only are our electronics disrupted, but also our politics heat up as we question old systems and grow hungry for new answers. The volume turns up on all astrological activity. High peaks of solar activity were recorded around the French Revolution, the American Revolution, and during the mid-1960s, times when people fought the status quo and sought revolutionary change. Action. Change is in the air. A flare of energy supports your work. The mood is restless, sparky, revolutionary, and curious. People are hungry for change. It's not the time to be quiet, but to be fast on your feet. This is how the energy of the cycle is affecting us. Mutable energy is already showing up through Sagittarius and Virgo energy, both mutable signs. Solar flares magnify the energy on any other cards you pull. When the sun is storming, our social and political world activates, revolutionary change manifests, and trees grow faster in the forest. Aim carefully, because a solar flare brings momentum, not thoughtfulness. That you have to provide. A calm metaphysical perspective may not be easy, but you can bring that in to create balance and longevity. What you build during a solar flare may be hot and fervent, but not necessarily long-lived. To turn an idea or love affair into something permanent like a business plan or a partnership will take conscious effort. Challenge it. Challenge. Tempers flare along with the sun. You can scorch yourself with too much passionate action and not enough emotional sensitivity if you are not mindful. Gift. The sun is sending extra voltage and inspiration your way, so use it wisely. Feel the heat in the situation, the passion in the people involved, then balance that fire by adding water's compassion, the thoughtfulness of air, and the logistics of earth to turn that inspiration into reality. So yes, guys, we're getting a big old boost. We're getting another boost. Another boost, and another boost, and another boost. Okay. Humanity is waking up. Okay. One way or another, I gotta find you. I gotta get you one way. What is that song called? Because that's a bop. I know it came out before I was thought of, but banger. So yes, we are getting the boosts whether we're ready for it or not. Okay, so it's just better to be ready. And I'm an air sign, so stuff like that really does make my mental, like, if especially if I haven't been grounding myself, like, I definitely get overwhelmed very quickly. So my biggest advice during all of this is to stay grounded. And of course there's the typical grounding methods, but like, do what's grounding for you, like an air sign. Like, of course I can do the grounding exercises like working out and stuff like that. Please do that, because that is a great way to anchor the light in for everybody. Like, it's not just going to help you. That's what we all need to remember through all of this. Like, any work that we do benefits the greater good. But no, as an air sign, talking to other people helps me feel grounded. It helps me feel not isolated, not trapped in my mind, and things like that. So, you know, don't get so caught up on, you know, super specific methods. Do what you know helps you feel less overwhelmed, helps you feel more connected to your body. Like, your mind and your body and your heart are one thing. Like, do whatever helps you feel that way. That's May's advice anyway. You can take it or you can leave it. All right, ninth house. This is how the energy of this new moon is working in our favor. So definitely tap into your ninth house and see what you got working there. And it will definitely give you more insight as to how this energy may affect you and how you can pay attention to it and how you can use it for the betterment of you. But the ninth house is the Sagittarius house. It has to deal with publishing, broadcasting, long distance travel, higher education, philosophy, and things like that. I would say networking, but if your chart were a village map, the ninth house would contain the international airport, university, or broadcasting tower. The ninth house is the original World Wide Web. Didn't I just say that? It speaks of how we expand our world through official and unofficial higher education, travel, international understanding, philosophy, and global communication. Action. This is how it's benefiting us. Go exploring. Step out of your comfort zone to see what lies beyond the boundaries of your familiar bubble. Step into a new country, try on a fresh attitude, and immerse yourself in an unusual body of knowledge or a spiritual philosophy you did not grow up with. It is hard to see your bubble, the lens for your experience, until you step outside of it. Look back at your socioeconomic milieu, family and friends, and education, and confront any unconscious assumptions that your people, your class, your culture is all there is. You are being charged to develop a truly diverse perspective and understand that real diversity in a person, ecosystem, or company builds resilience. Awesome. Push your unique boundaries. If you are an urbane international traveler, you may be most stretched by small town life. Read the philosophy and spirituality from a far corner of the world. Once you've done all this work, share what you've learned with the world as a speaker, writer, traveler, teacher, or internet diva. Wake up the world. Challenge. When you finally break through and can see the far horizons, it can be difficult to reconcile the allure of those infinite possibilities with the familiarity of the people close to you. Both are important. Gift. Widen your horizon and expand your world. Explore in your mind, body, and soul. Teach what you know. The world is waiting for you. Lit. So, you guys, the way I like to think about the internet, and I've always thought about this because I learned probably in like 7th or 8th grade that the Library of Congress pretty much saves, at that time, I don't know what they do, I don't know how they're going about it now, but like they save everything you do on social media, and at that time I thought that was cool and I thought that was cute, and luckily and thankfully I'm getting back to that mindset. But so I felt happier to post, just to be able to think like, oh, like later down the line when people are researching the different times, they'll be able to look back at what I posted and know what life was really about. Like that was really my mindset. And I still want the same now. Okay, so literally our digital footprints on the internet can work in our favor. They obviously can work against us. Okay, don't let's not be belligerent and fake like everything that we see on social media should be on there, or just the internet in general. But we're also not going to knock the internet and all the great things on there, because hey, that's how I get to talk to y'all. So yes, more and more of us, I would say, are going to step out of our comfort zones and literally just share what we know. And then challenge Mercury. Okay. What I get from this is everybody's gonna want to be heard. Everybody's gonna want to share. And I mean, technically everybody has that right, but also everybody technically has a role. And not everybody is meant to teach, at least not at the same time. Okay? So I see that. What do they call it? Oversaturation. And it's literally only because, like, people don't know their role. Like I just read on one of the cards, the Dragon's Blood. Don't shy away from the vastness of the void, because it's going to show you who you really are and what you're here to really be doing. Mercury symbolizes your mental switchboard, how you think, communicate, and move through the world. The smallest planet rules Gemini and Virgo is closest to the Sun, completing its orbit in about 88 Earth days. Because it orbits so close, it can only be found in the same sign as the Sun, the one before it or one after it. Mercury has a large, dense molten core, and one day on the planet takes 58 Earth days. Interesting. Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year for 3 weeks, slowing time so you can remember, review, and reconnect. Action. Communicate. The mood is quick, fast, and cerebral. Look at your situation from many different sides. Be light on your feet and make sure you have all the information you need. If not, be ready to research, investigate, translate, mediate, check your facts, and learn. Okay, while it's on my mind, Sagittarius is the sister sign to Gemini, and Sagittarius is square one of these aspects to Virgo, which the new moon is in. I did want to say that. Like in my last video, there was the Taurus and Scorpio axis, and then in this one there it seems to be Sagittarius and Gemini. Follow up on all lines of communication to make sure others understand what you said and you understand what they intended. Publish, broadcast, network, and engage social media. Make the calls, submit the resumes, send the manuscript. Check all Mercury ruled equipment such as vehicles and communication electronics. Proofread and back up your files. Mythological Mercury could be a trickster when he worked for himself, but he also played the role of psychopomp, diving into the underworld to escort trapped spirits out of it. Didn't I just say that on the Emerald Order? If you need to go down into your own personal underworld, it may be time to walk with a therapist, shamanic healer, or other integrous guide into that deep realm challenge. And this is okay. My voice got trapped. It still feels like it's doing a thing. Challenge. When a quick mind is not connected to the heart, it can cause trouble. Watch out for the busy hamster wheel of the mind. Shallow thinking, scattered, dishonest or glib approaches, and mistakes made when in a rush. That's the challenge. Having your mind move and it's not connected to your mind or your body. It's not connected to your heart or your body. So you just feel crazy in your body. Gift. Mercury was the messenger of the gods. Listen deeply to the messages of your soul, the conduit to spirit, and become the messenger. And that's another challenge. Everybody wants to shoot the messenger. Everybody wants to bug the messenger. Like, look, I'm just here to share. And you want to use all that energy, all this good, fine, dandy new energy that is here to fortify the time we're in and not unravel it. And you're going to use that energy to be rude. That's on you. We all meet our maker. So yes, guys. Know your role. Speak proper. Okay, that includes timing, verbiage, all that. And, don't stop because people are mad. Or people are trying to make you feel like you don't know what you're talking about. And that's word on bow bow bow. And that's word on the Black Moon. Okay, now we're going to read Aries, the best way to utilize these energies. We got Aries and Rhodiola. Aries asks you to remember your personal fire, your reasons for being alive. It pumps up the volume on your life force. Its energy is raw, exhilarated, direct, rude, passionate, and looking for a challenge. Use your wisdom to focus this raw power and give it a goal. Aries is the cardinal fire sign whose fresh, brash enthusiasm is symbolized by a headstrong ram. It rules the head and imbues initiation, new beginnings, spontaneity, rebellion, and rebirth. Sheesh. The sun shines here March 20 through April 20. So everything in the theme was mentioned. You just gotta act. Let the light flow through you and motivate your body to move. Okay? The nervous system is literally being recalibrated right now. So now is literally a time that's probably going to be the easiest to stop what you don't need to do and start what you do need to do. Like, we're being activated. This is a collective initiation into a higher level operating collective, global community, whatever you want to call it, collective. We all here. And it goes beyond global. It's also galactic. Okay, we are also galactic citizens. That's the deep cuts that they don't want people to know yet, but it's gonna be known. Okay, they already talking about they seen the 7-foot black men aliens. Okay, y'all, it's about that time that we know that. Remember that we are a global citizen, and then deeply, deeply remember that we're galactic citizens also. So yes, we are being initiated into being able to communicate and access our other soul pieces. And our souls have a deep, deep, deep history. And that was at 5505. Action. Begin. Move into new territory. Cut to the chase. Be a hero. Feel the call to action and thoughtfully respond. Clear the air and clear the decks. Be crisp and to the point. Shoot from the hip. Set healthy boundaries just by being vibrantly alive. Express affection enthusiastically, spontaneously, and passionately. Work in short, intense bursts rather than long periods of deep concentration. Aries activates our inner adolescent. Direct orders can set off knee-jerk rebellion. Instead of telling others what to do or how they feel, express your own experience and opinion and speak in I terms. Set a challenge and let others find their own answers. Make sure all sides feel heard. If a person feels torn between meeting their own needs and meeting others, they'll take care of their own needs first. So don't set this up as an either-or situation. Aries energy boils over quickly. If a situation threatens to erupt in conflict, get out, take a break, and come back later. Challenge. Accidents increase when you are in a hurry, rushing through a project, or impatiently distracted. This flammable temperament can spark inspiration or spark a conflagration. Proceed with caution. Gift. Aries marks the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere. After a long, dark winter, the dead landscape comes alive. Plants that were shorn of leaves or dormant now breathe new life. This is a brave miracle, and it can be your miracle. Feel the flowing inner life force. Trust this divine direction and summon the courage to begin. We are ushering in a new dawn, a new time. And new is really just, I would say in this case, just not remembered. Like, humanity hasn't always been so low in its vibe. And for most people, a lot of people, that doesn't even register. That's not even something that's on their mind at any given time. So now and in the upcoming months and years, like, more and more people are not going to have a choice. Rhodiola wisdom. Upright magic, wisdom keeper, purity, higher consciousness, clarity, intuitive intellect, enchantment. I was just speaking on that, claircognizant, when you just know things. And that's how you know the dragons are there for you. And that was just one example. Reversed, overly analytical. Okay, now, that is very much so Virgo energy. Unenchanted, unable to express thoughts, emotional blockage, self-absorbed. Not cute. Guidance. The unicorn is known as the great protector of the forest. I was just watching the Lorax, y'all. They got bangers on there. And they was talking about the trees are made in the lab and it runs on 96 batteries. And I was like, the Lorax. Okay, watch it. I feel like it that explains a lot already. Like rhodiola, some unicorns are said to live near high mountains to this day, nourishing and protecting the wise and ancient forests left. The Lorax, he's the guardian of the trees. He speaks for the trees. He's the guardian of the forest. Rhodiola is in your cards today. In your cards today to remind you that you are intelligence embodied, intuitive, articulate, and knowledgeable. You exude mastery, wisdom, purity, authority, and wisdom. I didn't have this book. I didn't have this deck for a while, and I'm just now realizing that it said wisdom twice. You exude mastery, wisdom, purity, authority, and wisdom. I was an English major. But anyways, so the wisdom is doubled. Boobets. That's what it's pointing out to me. Emotions do not cloud your judgment. Your actions are measured carefully and intuitively as you contain ancient codes on the ways of earth, of heaven and earth. The subtle essence of the unicorn resides in the third eye. If unicorn medicine comes to you, your sense of wise creativity and aliveness will deepen. Don't neglect your medicine. Honor your natural gifts. Stand tall, own your medicine, and who you are becoming. Okay, guys. This one was long. So, a recap, we have the dragons, we have the unicorns, the snake, the ram, okay, the element fire, potent. So, yes, if you were feeling, if some way, somehow you are feeling unpassionate, unburden your heart and surrender whatever needs to be surrendered, okay? We don't have time for resentments or anything because those things are literally, like, the time is literally so ripe to let go and start fresh. Okay, peeps. So I highly recommend doing whatever it is you gotta do. If you're still here, that's lit. That's awesome. I am a resource, okay? So please feel free to reach out about anything that was discussed in the video. Definitely hit me up about the birth charts. Your girl's working on, you know, getting more organized when it comes to sharing my, I would say, etheric experiences, just like when I was speaking on the dragon blowing fire into my third eye, stuff like that. So that's definitely going to be more on the menu as time goes on. But this is so long, guys. Gotta go. Love ya. We'll chat some more as the messages, start to flow better for me. I'll have more to share. But these videos are always just a direct channel, direct transmission. What I take from it, and then I give it time, and I associate it with the time. So please be looking out for more information about this Black Moon time, and in the meantime, keep being fabulous, keep lighting the world up. Peace.